Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. It just happened a week back on 2nd June in the evening around 7 p.m. near a station near Balasore in the east coast of Orissa and India. Three trains collided, resulting in more than 250 to 300 deaths and more than 1,000, we don't know how many the figures are, casualties, injuries to the people. It was one of the worst train accidents that had happened in India. In fact, Indian Railways had a slowly building up very nice track record. Last 2 years, the accidents had reduced considerably, but for last Friday's accident. Now, before looking at the solutions or the causes, the root causes of the accident, let us look at some data about the Indian Railways. As we all know, India is the most populous country in the world, and Indian Railways run more than 14,000 passenger trains. They carry more than 22 million passengers every year. The tracks run more than 40,000 miles or 64,000 kilometers, and there are 8,000 stations. So these are very huge figures, and as a result, the Indian railway system is very much complicated, and it is becoming more and more difficult for the authorities like the government of India and the Indian railway authorities to keep the number of accidents down, more so when Indian Railways and the present government is looking at increasing the speed, increasing the passenger comfort and things like that. A lot of money is being pumped into making the Vande Bharat expresses, and the railway platforms are improved in all aspects. But I think there is a slight overlook or oversight by the government and the authorities as regards to the maintenance of the tracks is concerned. As regards to this particular accident is concerned, it is handed over to CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation, to look into all aspects, and by the time the root cause is brought out, I'm sure they will also suggest improvements so that things will not happen the way it has happened a week back. Meanwhile, I was just thinking, as a common citizen of this country, how we can improve the system, how we could have avoided this tragic incident or accident. I have very simplistic suggestions which may appear childish to the experts. There is a statutory warning to myself I am issuing. I am no expert in the railway signaling or railway systems of this country, but my heart goes out to the 288 casualties, people, the families, the bereaved families, and the loss of life and the injuries that people have sustained for no fault of theirs. So these are very simplistic suggestions. I only hope people take it in the right spirit in case they are correct. And in case they are not correct, we can as well ignore. This is only a saddened heart speaking, not an expert speaking. Now the suggestions. We generally, when we drive a four-wheeler on our roads, we are helped by a system called GPS, Global Positioning System. Can we not have a similar thing in the trains as well? Could a GPS system have averted the head on collision between the Coromandel Express and the standing goods train, which resulted in even the second accident between the Coromandel Express and the Yashwantpur Howrah passenger train? It's again a loud thinking. GPS will tell how far you are from the next train on the same track. A similar thing could have probably averted a head on collision. My second suggestion is about we read the reports. There are thousands of reports coming in the YouTube channels telling that this went wrong, that went wrong, and people say that when the trains were crossing that particular station, both the passenger trains were going at a speed far more than 120 kilometers per hour. Can we not have a system wherein whenever a passenger train is crossing a station where it doesn't have a halt, can it not reduce its speed considerably, so that, because the accidents might happen more during people crossing the tracks on stations where the train is not supposed to halt. So it is only again another suggestion that can we not reduce the 120 plus kilometers per hour speed of the trains, the passenger trains that cross a station where they don't have a halt. Now, there is a third suggestion that I would like to give, and this is regarding the authenticity of a particular signal. See, whenever we transact money on our ATM or on online transaction, there are multi levels of authentication. So, similar to that, minimum 2 levels of authentication is required for any monetary transaction. Similar to that, can we not have double authenticity of a particular signal, even if it is red or even if it is green? There should be a double check. The driver of the speeding train has to check it again with another system, that if he is given a green signal, is it safe for him to go on the track that is given a green signal? I read in some of the reports that the green signal that was given to this one of the drivers was wrong, or maybe people have manipulated. I'm totally discounting the sabotage angle of it, that CBI will definitely come out if it has any angle to it. My only suggestion is there has to be another level of authentication when there is a green signal. When there is a red signal, also there can be double authentication, so that the margin of error comes down. So these are very, very rudimentary suggestions. I'm not sure whether, they really hold any water when it comes to the actual implementation for any improvement. And I reckon that the authorities, the train authorities, the railway authorities, including the railway minister, including our beloved Prime Minister, they were there at the accident site overseeing all the rescue operations, and in a record 51 hours straight, the track was brought on track and the train started moving on the same track where the accidents took place. Kudos to everyone who contributed to the normalization of the track in such a record time. But I think we need to think deep to make our passengers safe traveling. Passengers, we should give safe traveling, because the railway system in India is the main system that carries so many people. It is the lifeline, whether be it the freight or be it the people traveling. It is the lifeline. So we need to pay more attention towards the passenger safety and the track, the signaling, everything needs to be looked into. And these are few suggestions that I thought, let me suggest, because I'm not an expert. Again, I am repeating it. It is only a person, a citizen, a common citizen of this country's heart crying out for the deceased families. May God bless the families. May God bless each one of us. With these few words, I thank each one of you for giving me this opportunity. May God bless each one of us. Bye bye. Take care. God bless.